Just like that, Kit. That's pretty brave. You've never done it before, man.
Yeah, well, I was on the fence about it, but
I
pull the
appreciate
pin.
Thank you for doing that, because even when I was talking to Jess originally, I said, come down and do it. For me, it's no big deal. Come down, have a bullshit or whatever. She's like, yeah, I won't do it. Kid will do it. So she volunteered you before you even knew what was going on.
Oh, yeah.
So I told you a little bit before we hit record why we started doing this. It started 5 or 6 years ago. I grew up pipeline kid. It's all I've ever done. So all my friends are pipeliners, and I just like talking to people who have done it and get their story out there. And it's interesting for me and gives me a chance to bullshit and get to know someone. So I appreciate being brave enough to try something new.
Yeah, it's no problem.
So tell us about yourself for anyone who's never met you before.
Name's Kit Stewart. I grew up in Manitoba. I got into pipelining quite a few years ago.
Where in Manitoba?
Where I grew up was Muscata, Manitoba, a very small town in the southwest of the province.
Okay. I only know Gretna.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Yeah, very rural. Very.
Are your folks still there?
No, they're moved on to other places now. Yeah, there's nobody left.
Okay.
So, yeah.
How'd you end up in Alberta?
I moved out here 2 years ago, more or less, full time.
Just before we separate, Kit. Good job.
Yeah. We'll see how that all shakes out.
Yeah. So how did you get into pipeline? That's all what I want to know.
I just needed work, and I walked into a laydown yard where there was some work going on, and walked in the spreads shack and asked for a job, and he said, yeah, you call me back when you needed someone. And I got about 10 minutes down the road, and the phone rang, said, be here Monday.
No way.
So that's where I started as a laborer, and just worked my way up from there.
What company was there? What job was it?
That was for Pipeworks Limited.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, so I stayed with them for quite a few years, and branched out and worked for several other companies, and kind of just going where the work is.
What prompted the move to Alberta?
Just wanted to be more central for work. Had a divorce, and needed to rebase. So Alberta was kind of the best choice to be somewhere, and
good for pipeline, or good for what we do, I'd say.
Yeah, a little less traveling.
Yeah, I know my older brother, he was in Sylvan for years, then he moved to Red Deer. Great location for pipeliners. And then they moved out to the island about 10 or 15 years ago. It's just the worst. The island's amazing, but for what we do, Kit, the worst.
Yeah, I can imagine. I live in Sylvan Lake right now, and it's definitely a nice town to have a home. So we'll see what the future brings. But
yeah. So now that you've dragged into pipeline, have you dragged anyone else into it?
Other than just hiring, kind of name hires through friends or whoever, recommendations, I haven't really brought any family or anything like that into it. No.
Yeah. So how'd you meet Jess?
At work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a pipeliner?
She was working on a project I was on, yeah.
Right on. Yeah, we started getting connect when about just LinkedIn, again, kind of a professional thing, and I was suggesting, I said, get Kit to reach out to me on LinkedIn. She's like, he's not a LinkedIn guy, but he will get you on a podcast.
Yeah, I don't do the internet, social media stuff. It's just not my jam.
It's not your jam, eh?
Yeah, no, I'm more of the old school mentality for sure.
I would say probably not a bad idea to avoid, especially nowadays.
Yeah, I think there's some good things from it, and raising two daughters, it's definitely kind of scary, the social media landscape, but it has decent tools where a guy could use it in the right way, but I think it just kind of run rampant and taking over people's lives.
It's a time waster. It's a killer.
Yeah, so I just don't get involved. It's just not something I'm interested in.
And yet here you're on a podcast.
Yeah, I know. It's anyone who knows me is be pretty surprised that
Yeah. Well, don't worry. We only post it on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So what were you doing? What would you be doing if you weren't working in the oil patch?
I really don't know. It's kind of become such a essential part of a person's life. Once you get fully committed into pipelining and you make a career out of it, it's kind of hard to branch out into other things. You know, you look at people out there working normal jobs, and it's kind of dumbfounding how they're able to make a go out of it when it's hard enough for a guy making pipeline money these days. And yeah, to take a job in town or something, it's kind of hard to make that jump.
I don't know how people do it. Like, there's people in Calgary. It's not as expensive for Toronto and Vancouver, but like with two incomes, it's tough.
Yeah, it's I don't know.
When did you decide, like, this is what I do now? Because you done a job as a laborer, whatever you said. How many jobs, or at what point did you go, oh shit, okay, I'm a pipeliner?
Yeah, I don't know if it's really a conscious decision. It just kind of worked its way in. You know, you get into something and if you're good at it, you work hard and you make good money, and opportunities start to come up, and you start working your way up the ladder, and it just goes from there. So, yeah, I don't think it was a decision that just popped up in my head like this is going to be full time. It's just something that naturally kind of happened. So, not sure if there's anything else I'm really good at now. Been doing this for too long, so.
Well, that's maybe not a bad thing. You know, it's not a conventional career. A lot of people don't see it that way, but so many people find it. Like, it's the money's good, but the money doesn't necessarily keep you here, I don't think, or it doesn't keep me here. It's more the community and the people, and I love the industry. And
yeah, it's definitely for a certain type of person, I'd say. Definitely working on the ground, on the right of way. It's a rough and tumble world, and you can be yourself out there. You don't have to worry too much. So,
like, when you talk about what are the good things when you talk to people about what you do?
I don't really talk much about what I do to many other people. Kind of the world's kind of secular, and most people I talk to are either pipeliners or just family. So, anyone who doesn't know, I just say, yeah, pipeline,
and that's it.
Good enough.
Yeah.
So,
but some people do struggle, like the fact that you're half gypsy now and work, I'm going to say 70, 80, 90 hours a week. Like, a lot of people, they don't like that work-life balance, or they don't get it.
Yeah, lots of people don't understand.
So what about you? Why does it work for you?
It's just certain sacrifices you have to make in order to make that living and make a career out of it. So I don't have any other, I don't have post-secondary education or anything like that to fall back on, just so to make a living as well as I can for pipelining, and you kind of just got to roll with it and take your bumps along the road.
Who are some of the people that have kind of helped you along the way in pipeline?
There's been a ton. I mean, you take knowledge from everyone that you work with. I think it'd be unfair kind of to point out one or two, because there's been so many. Every job, every point of contact, I think you can pull knowledge from wherever you want. It's a constant learning. If you stop learning, like, you might as well just go home, because someone's going to surpass you, or and you can learn from anyone out there. I learned a bunch from the old boys that I worked with, and every once in a while, you know, that greenhorn will come up and ask some question out of nowhere that you never really thought of, but just kind of pick something up that you haven't seen because you're around it so much, that some fresh set of eyes says, oh, well, why are we doing it like this, or why is it like that? And if you take a minute and not just call them out for being stupid, then sometimes you can learn from that as well. I don't know, it's kind of one of the good parts about our job, I guess. There's always something you get better at or learn. Or
For sure. If someone wanted to like come into this industry though, like what would be some of the things that you tell them that they might not know or to be concerned about or think closely before you do it?
It's a tough job to get into, and then I think it's getting tougher. I think if you come out and give your honest best effort, for me anyways, that makes a world of difference. Just give everything you can. If you don't know, ask. People are different, but I'm usually pretty happy to explain things, why we do things and how it's supposed to be done. And just there's lots of traps and pitfalls that you can easily fall into, especially young guys coming into the industry straight out of high school and come out to the pipeline and you start making money and get into some bad habits. And I've seen that ruin a bunch of guys and end up going home or ruining their lives over it. But if you have a good head on your shoulders and you want to give her a go, there's definitely opportunities out there for you.
So what's more important, like work ethic for a new person or attitude, do you think?
I think it goes hand in hand. If you're out there willing to work and you have that attitude where you want to be there and you want to see the job get done and you have some standards in what you're doing, then you're, I'll put 100% behind you all the time. I support my crews. If you're out there just to collect a paycheck and you don't care, you're the first guy in the truck for breaks and just lollygagging, then no use for a person like that. So work ethic and attitude I think are one and the same, really.
How have your leadership skills have they changed since you have been growing in this industry?
It was always a struggle for me to let people do things. If I seen someone struggling, I would just push them out of the way and do it myself because it is faster and I get the job done. Now that I'm getting a bit older and a bit more experience and start learning, it's better to teach that young guy, or maybe not so young, but teach them, point them in the right direction of how you're supposed to do it, and monitor, supervise, and make sure that they're doing it and help them grow as hands and turn into something and not just do everything for them. And because it's bad for them too. They don't want to be there and have someone else doing everything. And I think it's a better way to bring hands up in the job.
For sure. Is that how you were helped when you were coming in?
It was more of a, I don't know how you say it, test by fire, I'd say. When I was coming up, where you got thrown into a job and you either knew how to do it or figure it out.
Yeah, like the industry I would say is evolving a little bit. Not as much tire kicking, screaming, yelling, garbage can throwing as there used to be, I don't think.
Yeah, there's still lots of hotheads out there. I mean, I could be one of them. But it's calmed down a lot since I was starting, for sure.
Yeah.
And I think even when I started, it calmed down from years past, where there's way less of the shenanigans going on the right of way. But it is.
Yeah. I'd say it's getting better. Have you seen, I don't want to say buzzword, that seems like a shitty thing to say, but like people in our industry are talking a little bit more about being aware of mental health and looking out for the guys and whatnot. Have you seen some of these challenges with some of your guys?
I don't know. It's a touchy subject for sure. And I mean, I'm definitely more on an old school type of thinking. Every year we lose guys, this is a tough time of year for a lot of people. It's spring breakup. There's not a lot of work. It's been a tough couple of years for guys trying to make ends meet. Rates are down, work's slower. It's a lot more competitive. So there's always the bad stories where guys don't make it through a spring, or that stuff happens. So yeah, I mean, I always say, like, if someone needs help, reach out for help. There's lots of services out there. I'm not always the best person to talk to for stuff like that, but yeah, as long as people know that it's there for them, it's important.
I did some meetings at a camp last summer. So we were in the bush all summer, and a guy approached me. He's like, "Hey, I'm trying to get sober. Can you help me get some meetings going?" I'm like, "For sure, man." So we got some meetings going at the camp, and as they were growing, we found it wasn't necessarily about the drinking, the drugs. It was a connection. So it was really cool, these meetings that we had. And what was interesting, I got told by a few different people, because I would say the same thing. I'd be like, "Hey man, we got the 1-800 numbers, not for your health and wellness benefits, financial support, family counseling, drugs now, like these are all free, it doesn't cost anything, it's part of." And a few people told me they're more comfortable just sitting and talking and bullshitting with other pipeliners as a way to connect and reach out, rather than phone a 1-800 number. Because they said, the 1-800 number, they don't know, it's not a pipeliner on the other end of the phone for sure, so they don't understand what the fuck we're talking about if we are struggling. And the other one was, they said, if we phone one of those numbers, what is the chances they phone it's the same guy next week, and I gotta rehash all the same story? So I don't know where the challenges are, where the solutions are. Like, how do we best support these guys that are struggling?
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm really the best person to speak to that. I mean, I'm not a mental health specialist by any means. I think there's a lot of struggles out there for guys. It's a tough lifestyle to lead for lots of people, and then some people get going down a dark road. Like I said, if you need help, reach out. The alternative is way worse. So that's about the best I can do. If you want to come talk to me, then by all means you can come talk to me, and we'll have a bullshit, and we can cry about each other's stories and stuff. But yeah, if you need help, just make sure you get it. It's always terrible when you hear about so and so's passed away, and like, well, I didn't even know he was having troubles.
Yeah, no, there's definitely been a lot of that. I know another challenge is, so say you and I have been at it a while, so we have like a network of pipeliners and people we could phone at different companies and look for work. And what I'm hearing is a lot of people, we got broken out as new pipeliners in the last 5 or 6 years between Trans Mountain and Coastal and NGTL loops. And a lot of people, all of a sudden 5 years goes by and they're used to the steady Eddie paychecks, and all of a sudden it's not there, and they just don't have that same network we have. And that's why I tell people, hey, try LinkedIn. So I'm helping people try to build some of these networks, because they have a few foreman's numbers and that's it.
Yeah, it's definitely super competitive right now and hard to find those contacts. If your only experience was those big projects, and you're not as well rounded or as well connected, then it's going to be a struggle.
Yeah. Well, what would you say to encourage people who are to try to get through the slow patch? Like, they want to stay in the industry and they want to stay pipelining, but they're not sure what to do.
Yeah, well, it's a decision everyone has to make. If you're smart with your money and you save up for the slow times, that's kind of needs to be your bread and butter. When the going's good, it's good, but you got to save up for those times when it's not as great, and hopefully you can build up enough of a nest egg to push you through till you can find that work. And sometimes it's going to take taking that rate cut or taking a little bit of a setback in your position to keep going. And if you are willing to accept that, then that's fine. Maybe you'll push through. And it's all a risk too. Like if there could be a job come up where maybe you get a lead hand or operating position offered to you, and you take that, and down the road you get a better position offered, and that's your decision whether you want to jump ship and burn a bridge on the back end, or that's all how you want to lead your career, and it's choices we all have to make coming up.
No, for sure.
It's kind of the trick of making it.
Yeah, and everyone has to make those decisions at some point, because it will happen. Someone will offer you a job when you're not done.
Yeah, and I mean, the past few years are pretty good to a lot of guys where it was so busy where they could make those decisions and take that better job. And I mean, there's tons of people out there looking for work right now, but it's kind of got spoiled for a few years, and now it's
I'd say for sure
the leaner times, so you gotta make her through, and hopefully she picks up.
Oh yeah, I've had some of those talks with guys lately. They're so happy to be working, but the rates have like all took a haircut, and everyone's like, poof.
Yeah.
Tough on the pocketbook, tough on the bride too.
Yeah, it's happened before, and it'll happen again. And you kind of just gotta, hopefully it gets better before it gets worse, and ride that wave.
Yeah, right on. Tell me about your company.
So we started, well, there's 2 crew pipelines. We started a few years ago, started subcontracting. Stew Crew, the name comes, so it's a family name. The Stew Crew Farms and Stew Crew Cattle. My father and uncles kind of spearheaded the name. And I poached it for pipelining, and I think it fits in pretty well. And yeah, we started offering a line of clothing last year, a little bit more than that, to some people who are interested, but still very ground level on that now.
Well, that's pretty cool. Like, you must love pipeline enough. Not many people start cranking out merch.
Yeah, we just thought maybe it'd be an opportunity. There's a few other companies that people are aware of that have made a pretty good solid go. So thought maybe we dip our toes into it and see what happens. And it doesn't help that I don't do social media, because I don't do any marketing. It's all word of mouth for me. It's
Well, you got an advocate living with you.
Yeah, she's definitely the marketing end of things. So yeah, no, it's been good. It's ups and downs, starting your own business, and but
what do you see in the industry happening in the next year or so? Is it going to be picking up?
Oh, I have no idea. It depends.
Get your magic 8 ball.
Yeah, if I could predict that, I'd be a lot better off than I am now. You talk to some people, and it works going, and then other people, maybe 2 years before. And a lot just has to be major projects get on the go, and then the smaller side will kind of follow and get everyone moving again. But as far as when that happens, who knows?
Yeah,
obviously with the last election there, it's kind of thrown a loop into, I think, a lot of people's plans, and
for sure.
So it'll be interesting.
Yeah. So what is your life after pipeline, like 10 years, 15, 20 years from now? Are you going to be an old pipeliner one day, or can you envision a life after it?
The way things are going, I'll be putting the ground on it right away somewhere. So that's about as far as I can go. Hopefully there are other opportunities, but right now just focus on the career path that I'm on, and give it my all. So
right on. What else is on your mind before we part ways, Stu? I got you here. There's got to be something.
Yeah. I don't know. It's not much of a talker, so it's a bit of a stretch here, but
no, this is good. I appreciate making time for me to even make the drive down, because, like I said, this is just talk about other pipeliners, people I've met along the way, and where it goes. Who knows? Like, I don't know. See, we listen to this conversation. Probably just your wife, my wife. That's about it.
Yeah, that might not be a terrible thing, but Yeah, no, it's good to be here. It's good to see things like this happening, and I know you're a big support of the industry and helping lots of guys out. So it's
Trying to keep people working. Well, you're probably doing the same, keeping your ears to the ground for people.
yeah, I'm always helping out as much as I can and trying to keep my core group of guys moving.
Mm-hmm.
Try to keep food on the table, and
Mm-hmm.
it's tough now, but things will pick up and they'll get better, and just getting through. So yeah, it's the way the world works. Really, it's the industry that we decide to get into, and you got to take the good and the bad, and that's the way we live.
Right on. Well, Stewie, I genuinely appreciate your time, and I hope you'll consider doing it again at some point.
Yeah, for sure. If you want to suffer through another one of these with me, definitely just give me a call and I'll make a trip.
Get a couple of drinks into us first.
yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, short and sweet.
All right, stay well.
Yeah, you too.